name is Jeff. I've just completed a degree in management, and today I'll give you 3 tips to help you better connect with other people. Have you invited a friend, a colleague, or an acquaintance to lunch lately? Well, that should be one of your top priorities. In today's interconnected world, relationships are everything. In his bestseller, Never Eat Alone, Keith Ferrazzi tells us about this great principle he understood early in his life. That is, to achieve your goals, it matters less how smart you are, how much innate talent you're born with, or where you came from and how much you started out with. All these are important for sure, but they mean little if you don't understand one thing. You can't get there alone. In fact, you can't get very far at all. Connecting is the most important habit you can ever develop. Why? Because people do business with people they know and like. It's as simple as that. In careers, in every imaginable field, work the same way. This is true today more than ever. Lifetime cooperation is dead. We're free agents now, and we need to rely on our networks instead of the security once offered by organizations. In this presentation, I will focus on 3 fundamental practices you need to develop in order to expand your network and eventually become a super connector. These are 1. Preparation, 2. Audacity, and 3. Generosity. Rule number 1 is simple. Do your homework. As Churchill said, preparation is, if not the key to genius, at least the key to sounding like a genius. This means that before showing up at an appointment, a party, or a seminar, you must do research on who you are going to meet. In the past year, on several occasions, I've had lunch with people I barely knew. And believe me, before meeting each of them, I made sure I had a list of their accomplishments and interests. And it paid off big time. Let's face it, you can't truly connect if you don't know anything about the person you're meeting. And don't shy away from mentioning the research you've done either. As William James said, the deepest principle in human nature is the craving to be appreciated. Making people feel special is actually the best way of standing out. And as we all know, when it comes to making an impression, differentiation is the name of the game. The second fundamental rule of networking is audacity. Nothing creates an opportunity like a willingness to ask. And as the saying goes, the worst anyone can say is no. People with low tolerance for risk, people whose behavior is guided by fear, have no chance of winning. Ferrazzi tells us a story about how his dad was bold enough to meet the CEO of the factory he was working at and asked him to help his son. And Ferrazzi calls that move the single most important act of his life. That story actually reminded me of my own dad. Our family was far from being rich, but my dad knew a lot of people and just could not be embarrassed when it came to asking for help. And thanks to him, I did part of my studies in France and in the US. He wanted me to be able to speak English fluently, and had it not been for his audacity, I would not be here today giving this presentation in English. I know networking doesn't always feel instinctive and natural for everyone, but when you think of it, it comes down to choosing between the fear of embarrassment and the fear of failure. In other words, the choice is not between success and failure, but between choosing risk and striving for success, or risking nothing and being certain of failure. The third and most important networking principle you must apply is generosity. If you really want to become a super connector, you must understand this. Before you receive, you need to give. As Ferrazzi puts it, connecting is like blogging. You're only as good as what you give away. In other words, to paraphrase Kennedy, ask not what people can do for you, but what you can do for them. And the best way to apply this is to boost your expertise and share it with others. Superconnectors are information hubs and content creators. As an information resource, you're someone always worth knowing. Let me tell you a little story again. After being hired by a big college, I decided to specialize in IT and e-learning and help my colleagues with their technology problems. And I even created tutorials about specialized programs. 2 years later, when the head of our department left, people suggested my name and I became the next department coordinator. Power today comes from sharing information, not withholding it. So don't come to the party empty-handed. Always have something to offer. And when you do offer your help, don't keep score. Be generous. That's the real currency of networking. So there you have it, the 3 pillars of effective networking. That is preparation, audacity, and generosity. Now go and create new bonds. Set a goal for yourself of initiating 1 new person a week, for example. As Ferrazzi says, the value of a network grows proportional to the square of the number of its users. The bigger it gets, the more attractive it becomes, and the faster it grows. Thank you for watching this presentation, and see you soon.